Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo.
Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment inquiry.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You gotta acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
Like it, lump it. Trump's remaking the United States of America. We can start there with tariffs. What are we talking about? No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, 18%. It is the highest, Omar, the highest since the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. As I'm going to talk about in this segment, I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. The effective tariff rate at this point looks to be 9 times as high as it was last year, the highest since the 1930s in FDR, Omar.
And the effective tariff rate is up from 2% last year, for those that might see the banner there. Tariffs, though, aren't the only way Trump's remaking policy in America, right?
It is not the only way that Trump is remaking America. What are we talking about? Well, let's jump. The other big thing that Trump ran on, right, was immigration. How about net migration into the United States? Get this. It's down. It's going to be down at least 60%. We may be dealing with, get this, negative net migration to the United States in 2025. That would be the first time there is negative net migration in this country in at least 50 years. We're talking about down from 2.8 million in 2024. So Donald Trump has always run on tariffs, and he's run on a hawkish line on immigration. And on both of those issues, we are seeing record high tariff rates for this century going all the way back, well back into the early part of the 20th century. And when it comes to immigration, net migration, we are seeing record low levels, way down from where we were during the Biden administration. We are potentially looking at negative net migration for the first time in at least 50 years. And that is a big reason why that I'm saying that Trump, at least in my mind, is the most influential president, certainly this century, and probably dating a good back chunk into the 20th century as well, Omar.
So when you say most influential, I mean, statistically, how much is Trump doing?
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about this. How about executive orders? Already, 180 executive orders signed by Donald Trump this year. You have to go.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Heaven.
I'm Doc.
My name is Ken Billions. What up?
We have a special guest, Ken. So y'all just saw the video. Basically, CNN of all places praising Trump for tariffs and for immigration. Doc, how do you feel about that? Is Trump the most influential president in the last 100 years?
As much as I would like to be the person to like disagree, I think so. Maybe actually, I don't know if it's all for the right reasons, and I don't know if it's all for positive reasons, but I think influential. I think he may be the most influential. I mean, he's pretty much started his own party, just about. So I don't know if all of those are good reasons, but I would. Now that I'm thinking about it, he probably is.
Okay, Ken, how do you feel about Trump? Do you feel like what he's doing effective? Do you feel like he's the most influential president?
I don't know if it's effective. I would definitely agree he's the most influential, him and Obama. I've been knowing Donald Trump, well, visually since I was little. He was on Home Alone, right? He's pretty much been able to stay in the news cycle my entire life. And the way he's been able to parlay different careers, I don't really measure him as, is he a good dude or is he a bad dude? I just look at the moves. And in terms of the moves, he's been really doing his thing since I was a little kid. So in terms of influence, I would go with him and Obama for sure.
Heaven, what about you?
Influential, it doesn't to no good or bad. So influential, yes. And to go off what Doc said, I think he's gone a little bit further than making his own like party. He's making his whole own. I don't know what it is because it sure ain't democracy and it sure ain't the Constitution. So his own fascist dictatorship is that? I mean, just trying to, I don't know, by definition, if we want to be precise. So I guess that's influential. I mean, he influenced, I guess, a whole lot of people to cover up the Epstein list and stuff. So I mean. Hey,
For sure.
that's a word.
So here's one of the things that he changed. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I remember this in school where we used to have to do like the fitness test. I know me and Doc and Heaven all actually were in the Army. We had to do the PT test. So here's what Trump signed, I think, last week.
Don't start. I'm just proud to be on this team. I don't know why. I don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but I'm here to serve, and I'm here to serve you. Okay, so I'm going to do the best I can for as long as I can. Thank you very much.
Nobody like him.
So basically, Trump was there to basically have fitness tests back in schools. And Lawrence Taylor, I guess he had caught a case before, so people are going at Trump for him having to call an essay case, as well as people are saying that he didn't even have a reason to be there. He's just like, I'm here to serve. So, Ken, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like his past matters? And do you feel like, you know, him just saying, hey, I'm just here to serve, and he doesn't even know what he's doing, makes sense?
Unfortunately, when you look at history, the most complicated people tend to get things done. And when we're looking for the perfect Negro or the perfect woman or this, you know what I'm saying, you can't have said no inflammatory stuff when you was 18. You can't have a pass. I mean, the most complicated individuals have done some have some good human contributions. So that's kind of tough. I guess the audience and the crowd will have to decide what's too far. But unfortunately, sometimes the courage that we're looking for, the bravery that we're looking for, the audacity that we're looking for, the person that'll stay in front line usually has a sketchy background. and the good people, right, often cowards. So that's a tough one. So the audience will have to decide collectively, like, this is how far we'll tolerate certain behavior.
Okay. Heaven, Lawrence Taylor is on the sex offender registry. Do you feel like it's appropriate for him to be at the White House?
Anyone that is on the sex offender registry should not be involved with anything to do with children. I served my country for 15 years. Gray did too. Doc did too. I'm pretty sure they don't have shady past, but they're courageous men. And I'm a courageous woman. And we have done things that majority of people can't do and won't do. And I'm not on the sex offender registry, and I'm pretty sure those two aren't either. So there are a lot of other people that don't have pasts that can be put into leadership positions. Anyone that is a sex offender, well, I mean, that goes right along with the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. So I guess we have a pedophile government with, and you know, if that's what they're going with, that seems to be the trend.
Doc, you
in our government.
for sure. Doc, you're a youth football coach, and I know you work with kids. So do you feel like we need like fitness back in the schools, or do you feel like that's something that the coaches and the parents need to deal with?
You want to know what's so crazy? My daughter just told me today that she was dropping PE and she was gonna take business.
Oh,
she
wow.
was like, "Yeah, I'm dropping PE." I was like, "Hey, man, that's what you want to do." You know what I'm saying? But she's a good physical help. But I think one of the biggest things is the country has shifted on their views on these people from sex offenders, depending on the amount of fame they have. There was a time where being a rapist was something the whole community wanted to hang you upside down and castrate you for. We parade Mike Tyson around like he you know what I'm saying, the greatest athlete to ever perform. Mike Tyson, for whatever you think or however you feel like the case went, he went to prison for rape. You know what I mean? Like, he a convicted rapist. So whatever your opinion on, that doesn't change the legal aspects of that. But I think they just changed it in society now. And I think there are hundreds of qualified athletes he could have had up there stood next to him. Some of them even support him. I think he just could have had someone different. With the allegations he has, I guess he thought, hey, you know, he was showing like, I'll bring Lawrence Taylor and to show that these aren't all bad people that you think. I guess that was his thought process. But you could have had anyone up there when you were talking about kids and athletics in school. And there's so many other athletes you could have shined a light on. I think this was a moment he kind of missed it a little bit.
And for the audience that doesn't know who Lawrence Taylor is, he had a 13-year NFL career with the New York Giants. He was drafted second overall in 1981 as a linebacker, and he became one of the most offensive players in NFL history. And he led the Giants to 2 Super Bowl victories.
And he is like universally looked at.
And what
as
is
the
he
best
on the sex
defensive
offender
player
registry for?
Well, I'll tell you, he's universally looked at as like one of the best defensive players to ever play football. And Lawrence Taylor is famous for, he would have these crazy binges on cocaine, wreck the Lambo on the way to the field, to the game. And like, he was like partying, like he was just like out of control partying with these women, and they're all doing cocaine and drugs. And somehow that at one point led to him having these allegations and these things that stem from that. But he was just partying so hard and doing all these drugs.
Yeah. So basically, they say
16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
A 16-year-old girl.
Well,
I'm going to say that again. A 16-year-old girl. A child, a high school child. I sure do not want any man that has raped a 16-year-old child. I don't give a damn what his background is. He shouldn't be around kids or in charge of their fitness. Do we need fitness in the schools, yes, absolutely. We are an extremely unhealthy population. However, 16-year-old girl.
I think the difference is to say though, she was a 16-year-old prostitute. I don't think these dudes are
She was a
ID
runaway.
checking. She was a prostitute. He hired her. He attempted to hire
There was
a
two
prostitute.
different times. One was
Lawrence Taylor ain't checking the
one was a
ID of a prostitute.
misconduct and patronizing of a prostitute in 2011, and then the 2010 incident involving a 16-year-old runaway. There are two different ones. So now that shows me not only was there's two back to back. I don't give a damn what drugs you're on. You raped a 16-year-old child. Period. And if anybody's on here defending that,
I think that
a rapist apologist.
I
I
think
would
that-
not do that.
I think that
If you
opens
have
up
a
a
child, a daughter. That's crazy. That is
I think that-
wild, crazy work to me.
I think that opens up a conversation between this generation and the elders too, because the elders didn't look at 16-year-olds as children. So that definitely opens up a conversation between millennials. Gen
My
Z,
dad looked at me as a child, and I bet the fathers, elder fathers, told their 16-year-old daughters and looked at them like children. But the problem is, you don't look at a stranger's child like a child. You can sexualize a stranger's child. It's unacceptable. It's just unacceptable.
You're leading me right into the next topic. So, I don't know if y'all remember this girl. This is Bad Barbie. She went viral for going on Dr. Phil, but a lot of people waited for her to turn 18 for OnlyFans.
You turned 18, you registered to vote?
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, you thought I was going to say join the military.
No, I was going to say is when I joined OnlyFans.
You joined OnlyFans the night you turned 18?
I think so, yeah.
And people subscribed right away?
Yeah.
Should they be in jail?
Yeah.
So, Heaven, that's basically what you were trying to say, but she's 18 though. She said they should be in jail. Yeah, but that girl right there.
16. And then there's the barely legal. And that's where pedophiles find an excuse. And I'm speaking from experience because my child was molested by my ex-husband in the military. So this is what they do. That's what they do. That's barely legal porn. So you're essentially looking for a child. You do not have sex offender. That's part of the sex offender registry. That's part of what you cannot be around children. So why would you put someone who has charges like that in charge of a children's physical fitness program?
So like my mom was 16 with 2 children by an older person, and everybody from that period. No. So what I'm saying is everyone that from that period seemed and acted as if that was the norm. So what I was saying is there's never been a collective conversation.
What period exactly was that? There was a whole movement. Hello, #MeToo movement. What do you mean there hasn't been a collective? No. Women have been screaming this for I don't even know how long. That's why the birth rate is low.
No, when I'm saying a collective movement of there's some behaviors that the elders practice that I agree is incorrect. And there hasn't been a all the way challenge and pushback because age ain't nothing but a number. Everybody at that time period that I remember, no one was checking that kind of stuff. So if there were people that was against that, they seemed as if to be outliers.
Time period? In 2010 and 2011? Is that because
no, I don't
referring to him?
Oh,
right?
Well, that's pretty recent. I didn't know that.
That's exactly that's when Lawrence Taylor's charges was 2010 and 2011.
Oh, I thought this was the 80s.
So you're thinking like no.
Yeah,
this was like
wow. Okay, that's
right
recent.
back then.
Okay,
like that exactly. So this is not some he was a young individual. Hey, look, things happen where there is miscommunication when it comes to children with other children. An adult should never, ever, 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 ever look at a child. I can't look at an 18-year-old boy and be like, What? My daughter's about to be 21. That's disgusting to me.
Doc, what you think?
That's gross.
If you look into the case, Lawrence Taylor, not that it's right or not that I'm taking up for Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor, somebody bought the child to the hotel that I guess Lawrence Taylor was booking his prostitutes through somebody. So he believed the girl to be 19. He believed the girl to be 19.
So it was a sex trafficking thing.
Yeah, he buying prostitutes. Yeah, he ain't like ashamed of that. He was doing cocaine out in public. He not ashamed of that. He was buying. He thought he was buying. He thought she was 19. He later found out she was 16. He was playing down the misdemeanor charges for the bad Barbie thing. I mean, if she turned 18 and she want to get on OnlyFans and sell herself online, I'm not gonna subscribe. But I mean, I guess get your money however you want to do it. Where her parents at? We blaming the dudes for subscribing. Where her mom and her daddy at? This girl been out of control since she was 16 years old.
For sure.
I will say though too, if you're a parent and you got a teenager, you know the difference between a 16 and a 19. If you're a parent and you raised a teenager, there's glaring differences between like a 16 and a 19-year-old. So if a 16-year-old was in that kind of environment, you are shutting your brain off a lot of bit, because you can tell the difference between a 16 and a 19-year-old. If you have a teenager and you see their friends, I can tell the difference. There's just things and mannerisms. I don't care how grown they are. I don't care what they've been around, to turn your brain off in that moment. See, I thought this was something he did in the 80s because I knew he partied a lot in the 80s. And age was looked at way different in the 80s by previous generations. So that's what I was talking about. I didn't know that this was 2010. So I'm with you on that. And there's a difference between 16 and 19.
And that's still unacceptable. And that's something that I think women, again, have been screaming forever. And it's not acceptable for a child, because at 18, your brain's not fully developed yet.
You can go to prison for life.
I don't think that should.
And war.
Exactly. And I don't think that's acceptable either.
Well,
I do not think that's acceptable either.
Y'all brought up the parents. So what happens when the parents is profiting? I don't know if y'all know who Lil Tay is, but she passed Bad Barbie's record on the amount of people that subscribe on the first date.
Bobby has reacted to Lil Tay breaking her friend's only website earnings record with a new launch that made over $1 million in just 3 hours. Tay's live stream was full of confidence. She thanked fans who had pre-ordered since 2023 and said the long wait was over. Then came the reveal that shocked people. She made over $1 million in 3 hours. That's more than Danielle made when she launched her own account at the same age back in 2021. Tay made it clear she didn't need any outside help. She said multiple adult companies offered her up to $40 million to sign with them, but she turned all of them down. When someone asked her if the move would ruin her life, she responded with, "I don't think 50 mil is going to ruin my life." Tay said she always planned to do things her way and didn't want any outside pressure shaping her image. Just hours after turning 18, Tay told fans she started filming her content the minute her birthday began. Tay and Danielle have had issues before, and Tay hasn't held back. Earlier this year, she went viral for calling Danielle a clout chaser and saying she's been obsessed with her for years. Tay also mocked Danielle's appearance and said she should work on her self-esteem. With this new milestone, Tay just stepped ahead of Danielle in one of the most shocking ways. She didn't just match her earnings, she beat them, and fast. Some fans are praising her for being smart and independent, while others feel like she's moving too fast. But Tay doesn't seem to care what anyone thinks. She said she's just getting started. Whether people like it or not, she's now the one breaking records. During all of this, Danielle has spoken out about Lil Tay's record-breaking content drop. Underneath a post about it, Danielle left a comment. In her comment, she wrote, "Meh." Danielle didn't seem too impressed by the numbers or the attention surrounding Tay's launch. Her short response made it clear she's not bothered by being overtaken. On the other hand, Tay's brother Jason appeared in the live stream but didn't speak. Fans pointed out that he seemed uncomfortable, especially knowing that he was once seen coaching Tay when she was younger. His reaction only added more mystery to how this new phase is being managed. For this video's comment question, do you think she deserves that kind of money from this? Before you go, be sure to give this video a...
So, Doc, you brought the prostitutes with Lawrence Taylor. How do you feel hearing that Lil Tay's brother was coaching her, and then she broke her OnlyFans record of Bad Barbie at 18.
I feel the same way. Like these kids is coming from people who just it's just a big emphasis on earning a dollar and earning and the money. I guess is something for them to chop down their morals or their principles or their beliefs. Because I mean, she was a kid, probably like 14 or 15, and she was on the internet. And I believe she lived with her mom. I think it was a big thing about her dad actually going to court and getting her banned from the internet. It was a big thing, and they got her banned years ago because she was like 14, 15. But I mean, I'm not gonna subscribe to it. But I mean, I guess if that's what you want to do with your life, and if you at 18 and you want to go out here and you think it's worth it, and you know, everybody at 18 thinks they know everybody. I did stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. Everybody's doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing at 18, and it can go with you for the rest of your life. So if that's what she wants to do with her life, you know, that's a personal choice. She grown, in my opinion.
Yeah,
they're not grown. I mean, just if we're like their brain ain't even fully developed, right? So we can the state or the federal government plays with what's legal and what's not. So they're not grown, but these things are not isolated. It's an opportunity to lift up the hood to see how empires have a parasitic behavior with the youth. This is Greek culture, Roman culture, Persian culture, Babylonian culture, right? These are the behaviors of the empire and how there's a parasitic behavior with young people. This is not new. This is a continuation of things that have been happening with empires, right? So you can slam shut one thing and then 10 of them pop up because there is a seed that is passed behind the scenes that not what the public says. Those behind in the shadows agree that this behavior is okay, and they have power, they have influence. It's a continuation.
Come on, X, when do you become grown? Come on, X, when do you become grown?
Age 25 or 26 when your brain stops developing.
I think it's a mental thing that if you do a behavior, you are fully aware of, if I do that, then these are the potential outcomes of my behavior, right? So your mind is not a minority. It's not minor. You don't need anyone to think for you. I know exactly what I'm doing and the outcome of my behavior. If you don't know the outcome of what could potentially happen, you're not an adult. You have to be able to know, if I do that, this can happen to me. You'll know that you're an adult.
What if I don't know that till I'm 30 or 40?
That you're minor.
That or you had poor leadership. I think it's a community thing. Sorry to cut you off. I think
my thing is when you get into the grown
like
thing, at some point you have to make people responsible for themselves, and part of that is they have to learn it themselves. So if I never learn it or if I never get the information, I'm never grown. That's a personal choice for some people. Some people sit in communities and never learn it.
For sure. So some people, maybe this is just a preference, because Trick Daddy said he doesn't date older women. He only dates young chicks.
Okay, with the exception of maybe you and one or two other women, right? I'm not attracted to no women over 35 years old.
You're not?
No.
Well, honey, I know you are attracted to me, honey.
But y'all standards are too high. Y'all are too emotional. Y'all are damaged good from past relationship. I am not damaged. You don't even realize you're damaged. You see, because you.
So Heaven, are older women damaged? Is that why older guys going to young women? No answer.
Older men go for young women because they crave to be young and pedophilic. But I can say that younger men tend to go for older women Because fuck him, I'm 39 and he can kiss my ass. I'm fine for 39. The fuck?
For sure. When I was younger, I liked older women, but then you get older, you kind of like, okay, like these women come with too many problems. But that does happen. Ken,
and we come with other things like a paid off car and owning my own house and grown ass children and knowing how to handle my own shit. That's what Trick Daddy don't like, is women who can actually handle shit. Because he can't handle them.
Well, when we say baggage, what's in the bag? Like she said, like you can have investments in the bag. You can have personal development in the bag. What's in your bag? But I often hear men say this, and it's very interesting how they divorce themselves from the equation. I'm 41, right? So whatever a woman comes with, I come with. Right. So it's just an interesting thing when I hear men divorce themselves from the same experience of your peer group. Right. You dealt with deaths in the family like me. You're probably divorced. You probably have had grown children now. I'm sure you lost close friends. I'm sure you've been embarrassed. I'm sure you got some wins. I'm sure you got some losses. You know what I'm saying? So this is why we match. Right. Because when I tell you that I lost my mother, you're like, damn, me too. Or I lost my granny, or I lost my auntie, right? So and when you look at the person saying it, like let's be honest, he said he doesn't want a woman over 35. Eventually, you have to put yourself with your words, right? Do you know what you look like, right? Do you know how you show up, right? So you want a power imbalance. You know what I'm saying? So that's just very interesting. You got to be same. And I often hear men say this: I don't want a woman with the same thing as me. And then I'll land here. Oftentimes the guy is going to get with the younger woman and turn her to the old woman with baggage.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead, my bad. Trick Daddy, he brought Trina to us. He always been putting you on, with the females. I mean, is he just a freak? What do you think?
Ken is such an honorable guy because I'm here to tell the truth, man. Don't nobody want an old chick, and that's just a fact, bruh. They get on. Ken could have all 100,000 of them. You feel me?
Come again?
I donate
Come
to
again,
Ken.
dog.
You know what
Come
I'm saying?
again, dog. Ain't nobody want.
Hey,
Oh, come.
You know what I'm saying? You want to know what?
Okay.
You know what Trick think? People be like, he want a girl, he can control a girl. Trick want a man, and when he say shut up, she shut up. That's what Trick want. They not gonna shut up at 35. I'll tell you right now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, not at 39 either. I got
Trick,
mute.
what he trying to say is he not looking for like no serious thing though. He's looking for somebody to have I think it depends on what you're looking for. He want to have a good time with these women, enjoy himself. He's not looking for like someone to be calling him, asking him when he coming home. You know what I'm saying? Checking his leg monitor. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like these women be like, oh, I need somebody on my same level. Like, look, baby, never, ever. I don't care. I don't care what a woman has. It does not bother me. I do not care. I will replace her and find another one if she get on my nerves. And the facts just be, older women be getting on your nerves, bro. That's just a fact.
Mine's is reversed. I that's how I feel about younger people, and it's crazy because
how young?
Like I'm 40. I'm 41. A young woman to me.
Ken, man, get your 28, Ken.
Nah, I wouldn't go.
I'm saying
33 to 35. If I was into that, 33, 35. Like I want to talk though. That's the thing. And if it's on some freaky shit, I'm getting somebody that's 40-some years old, 45, and like I'm getting somebody. We grew up in the sexual revolution, dog. We grew up in the 90s.
You might have to.
We need some.
You might have to call Diddy.
You need somebody with wisdom. That's what it is. Wisdom.
45, you might have to call Diddy. And
somebody
some of that baby oil.
Bro, you don't see these 45-year-old women on TikTok. They bad as hell.
And they only on TikTok.
Hey, fuck y'all. I'm right here.
For sure. So let's get to the main topic. Charlemagne and Trump are beefing right now, so I guess they the new Tupac and Biggie.
Today for Monday, August 4th, goes to President Donald J. Trump. Now, if you haven't heard, I was on Lara Trump's show, My View, on Fox this past weekend. Drop one of clues bombs for Lara Trump. She's been a guest on Breakfast Club before, so I had no problem showing up to her program. You know, I'm one of those silly rabbits who still believes in the First Amendment, okay, freedom of speech. Thankfully, Lara is a Trump who still believes in freedom of speech because her father-in-law, the 47th president of the United States of America, did not take too kindly to some things I had to say. Now,
how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for it.
I mean, where is the lie? Trump's big, beautiful bill is going to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. Okay, the other issue I said on My View with Lara's Trump is I believe traditional conservatives are quietly staging a political coup to take their party back from MAGA. I explained this to y'all a couple of weeks ago.
Traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to. This Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base. I think they're going to do that.
Just a conspiracy theory I have. It just feels like traditional conservatives who lost the party to Trump could use this opportunity to get it back because the MAGA base wouldn't be upset at all if they impeached Trump and voted to remove him because he's in the Epstein files. Trump didn't like any of that, so he replied with a long-ass post on Truth Social.
The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne Tha God. Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I use that nickname?
Go study your lessons.
He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I've done. Like just ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of the Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died and there was no end in sight. He did not know that. Or India and Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open border, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation have come way down, and where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope Charlemagne would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala? ? Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead, and now it's the hottest, and he capitalized hottest, country anywhere in the world. MAGA.
Now, the personal insults, I don't care. He called me a sleazebag. I looked up the definition of sleazebag. Says it's a disgusting or despicable person. Depending on who you ask, that may apply to me. Okay, I personally prefer friendly neighborhood a-hole. He said I'm a low IQ individual. I don't know. I've never taken an IQ test. He said I have no idea what words are coming out of my mouth. Absolutely true. Okay, I've been surprising myself my whole life, like, damn, I actually said that? Now, let's get to your claims. He said I don't know anything about him ending 5 wars. Mr. President, nobody knew that because it's not true. All right, there is zero evidence, nothing credible whatsoever that says President Trump played any role in ending the ongoing, keyword, ongoing conflict in the Eastern DRC or in Rwanda. Okay, America has not brokered any major peace deal between the DRC and Rwanda during Trump's second term. And wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, you did pull off a significant strike, but it didn't eliminate Iran's nuclear capabilities. Saying you wiped it out is an overstatement because according to reports, no enrichment facility was destroyed and Iran's nuclear threat is still very active, and some experts argue it's more dangerous now due to a lack of international oversight and the increased beef with Israel and the USA. Now, you also claim the borders were closed. Not closed, but you have tightened immigration policies and increased enforcement. You have definitely made the border harder to cross, but saying it's closed is false and ignores everyone coming over seeking legal asylum. By the way, I want border security. I just want you to keep your promise of deporting illegals and criminals. But since Homeland Security started to work to deport more people, okay, immigrants with legal status or no criminal history are being detained and deported too. That's not right. Okay, your family is always in fear.
Whose family you talking about?
Okay, all right. Listen, my fellow Americans. Listen, listen, my fellow Americans. We are in a strange time right now. A time we have never seen because authoritarian strategy is being used against anyone who speaks out against this administration. But that, along with his reaction to what I said on Lara Trump, shows how authoritarians will attempt to bully people into pushing false narratives. President Trump, do you realize the best way to get the headlines you want is to simply do a good job? Is to simply do right by all Americans? He called me a racist. I didn't mention race not one time on Lara Trump. I didn't bring up the fact that President Trump issued an executive order directing oversight of institutions like the Smithsonian to remove or suppress narratives about systemic racism in Black history. They want to reframe cultural memory to eliminate discussions of historical racial injustice. That, along with the termination of diversity and civil rights programs, are considered very racist by a lot of civil rights advocates. I didn't even bring that up. Okay, I was just talking to your base, letting your base know that you haven't kept the promises you made in regards to the economy. In fact, you've made things worse. It's actually hilarious to see you upset about the high unemployment rates when you let Elon Musk take a chainsaw to the federal government and fire a bunch of government workers earlier this year. You did that, President Trump, and now you're doing exactly what the Biden administration did, trying to convince America the economy is all good when it's not. Maybe for people in a certain tax bracket, but for majority of your constituents who aren't in the 1%, it's not all good. So you can hire a new labor statistics chief to lie about the numbers. It won't stop the reality of people being unemployed. Okay, you can tell falsehoods about inflation being down. It won't stop the reality of the price of consumer goods being high because of tariffs you implemented. So listen, President Trump, don't worry about Leonard. Okay, don't worry about Charlamagne Tha God. I know something I said hit a nerve and rattled you a little bit, but I don't want you rattled. I want you to end wars. Okay, I want you to keep the border secure. I want you to have the economy booming. Okay, I want all these things to be true. I am an American. I don't care who's in the White House. I want America to succeed. Okay, believe it or not, I'm rooting for you. But I need you focused. And right now, you're not focused. Okay, we need you focused on two things: the economy and Epstein. All right, I need you to keep the promises of a great economy and the promises of transparency with the Epstein files. And I don't want us as a people to be distracted. Whenever you see Trump trying to deflect from what's important, keep him focused. Ask two simple questions. What about the economy? What about the Epstein files? Happy born day to President Barack Obama. And thank you for your attention to this matter.
So, Doc, I know there was a lot that Charlemagne cooked Trump just now.
Nah, I don't think so. Having somebody who don't really agree, who didn't vote for you, not agree with you, I don't think is a big deal. So I don't think that's a big deal. I don't make it a big deal really that he didn't release the Epstein files. I personally don't care because I think they could have been released beforehand. But I think the big deal is he didn't keep his word on saying he would do it. I think that's more the bigger deal for me, is that he seemed to be someone who doesn't care about the rules. You know what I mean? So if he said he was going to do something, you know, something like that seemed like it would be within his power and easy to do. I would assume he would just throw it out there. The fact that he didn't doesn't really bother me because most presidents lie to us. Most presidents cheat and steal every dollar they can from this country for their friends and their family while they're in the seat. And most of them don't do the things that they say they're going to do. So Donald Trump is just, you know, a long line of men in that same seat doing the same job, the same way the rest of them have done it. The only difference is he'll get on the internet and argue with you. I can't say any president has gotten up there and really their number one concern has been the people of the country versus their constituents. You know what I mean? So to me, it doesn't really matter.
For sure. Ken, who's going to win this beef, Charlemagne or Trump? Because Trump always beefing with somebody.
I think we as Americans win. The reason why I say that is, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if there's any other place where a person in that position and a person in that position will have that dialogue, and the person on the radio, nothing happened to them. Like, you can openly throw darts at the president of the United States, right? That is a very interesting thing, because a lot of other places you have to keep your mouth shut on certain things or it's off with your head, right? So I just think that, and you'll know that we're done as a country. We got hella problems, don't get it twisted. But the fact that I can really go at a person in that seat, right? And my voice be heard and they go back at me. That is a very interesting thing. And I don't know if it's like that in other countries. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's like that in China. I don't know if it's like that in Russia. I don't know if you could just bark up like that. I could critique you. I could call you Agent Orange. I could call the president of the United States names. I think that is one of the positives about the country, that elected officials, I can clap at your head a little bit. You know what I mean? So I think we win because as of right now, my mayor, my senator, the governors, the president of the United States, I can put a phone in my face and tell you how you're doing and go to sleep at night. So I think we all win.
For sure. Heaven, do you feel like Trump having these social media beefs hurts or helps him, or both?
Like Ken said earlier, Trump's a household name. He has been forever. How do you think he stays that way? By always going back and forth with someone. And if he doesn't have anyone to have beef with, he'll pull up an old beef like Rosie O'Donnell. Like, seriously? Wasn't that how long ago you two were going back and forth with each other? I don't think that in other countries you ever see that because it's uncouth. As a leader of a nation, you are the leader of a nation. If you're going back and forth with someone you say is a nobody, if he's a nobody, then why are you going back and forth with him? What he says should not even affect you, but Trump has a very fragile ego. So anything said against him is going to hurt. It's a narcissistic wound. He has no other option but to respond, whereas a mentally well person would be like, I don't have to respond to that.
I think it's also a little bit disingenuous, Ken, to say that you can respond to the president and nothing happened. He's also shown that if you respond to him or if you respond in ways that he doesn't like, he will not give you federal funding for your college. He will do all of these other ways of, if you go against him, of
get rid of your student visa.
Yeah, it's been colleges like Harvard who had to stand up to it. Harvard has, all of this money, so they really didn't care. So they were able to speak out against that. But I kind of like that he interacts sometimes because it shows that he's human, and we've gotten this fake facade from a lot of presidents beforehand, and they all have been, just men. They're all making mistakes. They're all not as, not who we expect them to be, not who we voted for. So, but you do get repercussions for going against Trump.
But I'm saying, what you said though, I think those was planned anyway, right? I don't think you got to say nothing. I think he was coming for that anyway. What I'm saying too is like, for example, if you and I, you can't just like say things about Putin like this back and forth that Charlemagne had with Trump. You can't do that in China, right? That thing right there, right? So what you just mentioned, those institutions, I think he was going to clap at them anyway, right? And so, and also about his ego being hurt, I don't know. He's an entertainer, and he came up under a guy named Norman Vincent Peale. So and Norman Vincent Peale taught the art of positive thinking, right? So for him, things that look like it would sting and hurt, he processes that as a positive, right? So in his mind, he has the ultimate.
You can't say what he does or doesn't do in his mind.
I don't think he's hurt. He's an entertainer. Trump is an actor too, right? He's not that far from Ronald Reagan. He's both
also a 6-time bankrupt pedophile.
Well, I want to show
charged
you guys
with rape and sexual assault. And
everybody's saying about his ego. Trump holds grudges. So Diddy could have been out of jail if he didn't go against Trump. Let's see what Trump had to say.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Allegedly.
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent. Yes. I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, you know, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
Yeah, and it's hard, you know, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs,
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about George Santos?
Boy.
So Ken, he didn't say anything about Diddy's crimes. He said that Diddy went against him and they were friends before, and then he went against him when he ran for office, and that's why he won't pardon him. So do you feel like he does hold grudges? He does take stuff personal?
Okay, first off, they're the same people. That's number two. That's all theater. This is WWF. So the one thing the public chooses is you hear these people talk to each other, at each other, and you think they're one percenters. They are the same people, right? They have the same secrets. They have the same deviancy. They are not on either side. You have fraternity battles between them, but they're the same people, right? Just like Andre the Giant. And when I seen Hulk Hogan slam Andre the Giant and I was a kid, I didn't know that they was friends. They're part of the same gang. You know what I'm saying? So the only time they're going to separate is when you go off code, but they're the same person. Not only are they the same people, but they come from the same world. So Trump can't say anything on him because whatever behavior Diddy has, Trump also has. They're the same.
Heaven, I think you were the one that said something about Trump's ego. Do you feel like if Diddy wouldn't have went against him, Diddy would be pardoned right now?
Absolutely. And it's honestly a disgrace as a leader. As a leader, you shouldn't be making decisions based on if that person supported you or not. It's embarrassing. The way he's running our country is embarrassing.
Doc, you were saying that you like that Trump shows that he's human. Do you feel like that's a weakness with him saying that Diddy upset him?
Man, no. If he gonna disgrace and embarrass us and have pedophiles up there, free R. Kelly, man. You know what I'm saying? Can we please free R. Kelly? He got Lawrence Taylor up there. If he gonna have Lawrence Taylor support him, bring R. Kelly back. You know what I'm saying? It's the summertime. We're going into that R. Kelly time of year. He could have R. Kelly out, you know what I'm saying, by September. You know what I'm saying? R. Kelly can have good music out by October.
How about we jail everybody on the Epstein list instead of letting the pedophiles out? Can we get them locked up?
If he gonna lie to pedophiles,
as a woman, I'm strapped up, so come for me if you want to. But dang,
man.
He said let all the sexual predators out.
R. Kelly ain't did nothing, bro. Come on, we can have a Christmas album if we let R. Kelly out right now. You know what I'm saying?
Whole documentary.
Of course, R. Kelly is a pedo. Man, R. Kelly, they put R. Kelly in a cartoon as a pedophile, bro. Of course he is. But I mean, if he letting everybody else
these
run around, can we get R. Kelly back?
That these comedians make, then they based in truth. It's sad. We need to get all of them out and get real people in there. Real people, Doc. Real people. Not people
I'm gonna play
pretending
this
to be
last video, and then I'm gonna let everybody go around and get their final thoughts. So let you guys hear what Charlamagne said about him having TDS, because a lot of people say it's TDS when you don't like Trump.
One of those people that suffer from Trump derangement syndrome. I think he is a threat to democracy.
Really?
I think that he led an attempted coup in this country. You know, he said he wanted to suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. At the least, that's just not a patriotic thing to say.
I don't believe that.
He absolutely said that on Truth Social.
I will look that up.
He did.
He wanted to suspend the Constitution?
He said we should suspend the Constitution to overthrow the results of an election. He said it on Truth Social, then said he didn't say it. So I read Project 25. I'm one of those guys that's like, I don't know if he will necessarily leave. I hope he does, as you said.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said,
I hope he does.
Oh yeah, I forgot. If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and notification bell to know when we go live. Ken, thank you for coming. We definitely appreciated having you. Let us know your final thoughts and let us know what you're thinking of Man Cave.
I mean, it's a great setup. I definitely like being a part of any area where it's not a vacuum and everybody has different positions. To the last video right there, I say, you know what? People, choose yourself. Stay grounded in personal development. Choose yourself, choose your friend, choose your family. All that other stuff is political theater, and you'll lose yourself trying to change what's going on in the shadow. Instead, form your own tribe, people that behave like you, that think like you, and be the change.
For sure, for sure. Thanks again. We'll definitely have to bring you back. Heaven, what's your final thoughts?
Ken, thanks for coming. It was a great conversation. Final thoughts. I don't have much thoughts tonight, to be honest.
For sure. Dot, what's your final thoughts?
Ken, thanks for coming, man. It's amazing to have you. I'm up here cracking jokes about R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying, because he made good music. But hey, man, y'all, let's go back to beating the rapists and pedophiles up when in your neighborhood. Like, don't let them sit with you. Don't let them hang around. Like, don't let them feel comfortable. Like, I'm an advocate. Beat up your local pedophiles. Like, they don't deserve to be comfortable. Like, there's no way you're gonna sit around me and you doing some weirdo stuff like that. So, you know what I mean? The disclaimer at the beginning just said these are my own views, so y'all can blame it on me if y'all get locked up. You know what I'm saying? And I'll put a little something on your books. So, you know what I'm saying? Beat up your local pedophile and you know, have a good night.
For sure, for sure. My final thoughts, okay. My final thoughts are, yeah, it's getting crazy with this minor stuff. Please, like, watch your children, check their phones. You know, the access to the internet is getting crazy. I think that's one of the big problems with it. As far as Trump, I mean, I guess there's some good things and some bad things. I didn't vote for Trump, but it's interesting to see. And I guess Trump engaging with Charlemagne is interesting to see somebody that's a politician actually be real. But we do this every Monday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Come back tomorrow. We'll be reacting to the Jubilee video. You know, Tuesday and Thursday are more political nights. And then Monday and Wednesday is more like, you know, trending topics. So definitely stick with us. Man Cave. Y'all have a good night.